Oh, don't throw things. Hi everyone, I'm Daisy Lowe and this is my life in objects. And actually, my first object is this necklace. Now, this necklace was gifted to me by an incredible jewellery designer called Anushka, and her jewellery is so exquisite using semi-precious and precious stones, but I love the messages that she sends out through her work. She supports young talent. All of the designers that she works with within her jewellery company are new graduates who actually get an incredible platform into the jewellery world, into the luxury jewellery world. And I first met her when I was 20 and I borrowed some of her jewels. And she has been so kind to me throughout my whole career. And this year she asked if I would like something spelt out in diamonds and would I like my name. And you know, I don't really need Daisy written around my neck. I think I try and yeah, I don't need anyone shouting my name at me any more than they do already. And I wanted to try and figure out a word that meant something to me, that would maybe help my daily life. So I thought about it for ages and I thought bliss and happy and love and actually all of them just sounded, yeah, lovely, but not things that I wanted written around my neck. And so then I thought, actually the most important lesson that I've learned definitely this year is trying to be completely present and in this moment. So I've been wearing it for about 6 months now and I lost it on a video shoot. I was filming for my lovely friend Joseph Rubin for his music video and I had to take it off because it didn't quite work with the hard-nosed bitch I was playing for his video. And I really honestly thought that I was never going to see it again. And about a month later it just turned up, the cleaner found it in this location house. And I was so happy to have it back and actually I very rarely take it off, but just for you, there she is, all present with her presence. It's a good reminder. My second object is an item of clothing that is so very close to my heart in what I'm doing at the minute as well, because this dress is called the Cherry Dress and it's in red lace and it was made for me by my very own mother. It's so special to me for so many reasons. My mum is the biggest inspiration for everything that I do. I sound like such a soppy date, but it's true. And she's so incredibly creative. She wanted to create dresses that were for all seasons, that were just made for women with real shape. And we were really lucky a long time ago that the company Peacocks hired her to design their dresses on the condition that I was their model, which was so lovely for us because it was such a fun creative project to be part of, and she's just really clever, my mum. But this one's really special to me particularly because I modelled for her in return for this. And then I said, well, would you mind coming on episode 6 of Femme? Now, Femme for me is a podcast that I've started and it's the first thing that I've created for myself, I suppose. I've been in the entertainment industry for half my life now and it's the first time that I've been my own creation rather than someone else's vision, which has been incredibly empowering and, as I'm sure you can imagine, very terrifying. The reason why I started a podcast is because I fell in love with podcasts about 4 years ago and just find it a really refreshing medium because it's pretty unedited. You can say what you want. There's actually not really many restraints apart from the ones that I put on myself, and I loved the idea of having that much freedom in what I wanted to do. And I have spent my entire life walking around this planet being incredibly inspired by all of the women in my life. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be anything close to the woman that I am if it wasn't for all of the women who have inspired me along the way and picked me up when I was down and made me giggle when I thought the world was going to end, or you know, those really wonderful people who just give you that one piece of advice and they have no idea how the weight of importance of that one piece of information that completely turned your life on a sixpence. And that's what Femme is for me, is about trying to provide a space for women to talk, more than anything, because I'm a big old blabbermouth, as I'm sure you can already understand. Actually, it was a bit of a hard decision deciding whether I should bring my lovely mum on or not, because obviously she's the most personal person I could possibly interview, and I did want it to, I do want Femme to also be about women that can inspire the women listening. So it felt fitting to bring my very wonderful, very comfortable and affordable red lace dress for my mother as part of my objects of my life, because I suppose she made me, so it's important, right? This item is probably the most important item in the world to me, actually. This watch, it's a lovely Rolex, and I bought it for my grandfather for his 81st birthday. He had been very sick, sadly. He had lung cancer and he had been in and out of treatment for a year. And my whole life, he's always worn fake watches. You know, he was a proper wheeler dealer and would always find the best the best bargains at the best rip-offs. He'd always buy my grandma he bought my grandma a beautiful Cartier watch for her birthday. I think he's bought her a couple and lovely Chanel handbags, but my grandpa would always be happy with the fakes. And it knocked around to his birthday and I wanted to give him the gift of time, but I wanted to give it to him with something that was real and solid, that was tangible. I thought it would be this sort of joyful, this really joyful situation, and actually he burst straight into tears, which wasn't quite the reaction I was looking for. And he wore it every day until the day he died, about a year and a half later. And so I have it now. And I didn't want to get the links taken out because I wanted it to stay his size. So he's with me. This is how I have him with me every day. And I talk to him lots, which makes me sound like a crazy person, but yeah, it's important. So this is my most important object. He was my world, so that's for him. This item is an incredible piece of clothing made by a woman called Alexandra Lowe. I'm going to undo it. And you'll see she's tied it with the inspiration for this whole collection, the Enigma Code, which is how we Brits won the Second World War against the Germans. We figured out their Enigma Code. Now, Alexandra, being a very smart, very cheeky, mischievous lady, has written all sorts of very naughty phrases. She's written all sorts of naughty things in Enigma Code all over this wonderful fabric that she had made up, and it's actually the lining of lots of her pieces of this particular collection. Now, what I love about her collections is each collection is based on a very strong woman, and that idea of, yeah, female empowerment with your clothes. Now, this is special because this is the naughtiest jumpsuit I've ever seen. But it's actually really practical. So I got to wear, I had the pleasure of wearing this amazing jumpsuit out to an event in New York months and months ago. Now, what I love about this jumpsuit that is actually sort of Alexandra Lowe's trademark, really, is she loves a jumpsuit that zips all the way from front to back, so that you can go to the toilet without having to take the whole thing off, which is brilliant and empowering because men can just whip it out whenever they want. And actually, now we can too. Not wherever we want, just so that you can either have sex or use the bathroom. I mean, that's the two functions, right? Not just flashing in the street. But also, naughty, you can see your nipples. It's very naughty, but racy, but then when it's all done up, incredibly refined, which is what I like. We all like to be ladies and naughty underneath it all. So I'm a big fan of hers, and I've been loving borrowing her clothes and wearing them, and now doing this lovely project with her. So I thought it was really, really important that I fit her in this. So my next object of my life is my camera. So I love cameras. I love capturing memories and moments, and I'm a real softie like that. Very nostalgic, and love having images of all the people that I love around me. But this is brilliant because it is a Fujifilm camera that's digital, so that's just pulled in. And I can print that. I don't have any film in it right now, but I could print that if I did have film in the camera. Actually, there's a great picture of Jasmine Hemsley from just after episode 5. I should have really taken a picture of every one of my guests, and actually for recording of episode 7, this will stay next to my bed and will not move, because from then onwards I will be taking photographs on it of each of my guests, because I can't believe I missed up the opportunity to take a picture of Sporty Spice in my bed. What I love about this camera particularly is that it stops waste. So, you know, if you've taken a shoddy picture, then you don't have to print it, and you can print them over and over again, so that if, you know, there are a few people in the picture and each of you wants to keep one, then you can do that. But for me, it's really handy because when I miss people and I'm traveling so much, I can print pictures out of them and carry them with me, and obviously take pictures of everywhere I go, because traveling and photography and memories are very dear to me. So I'm very lucky for cameras in general, otherwise I'd be out of a job.